The ERi-TV news broadcast crew and I, Delayed Sahaya, are now ready for your daily news briefing at 10:30 local time. First, let us catch up with the major headlines. President Isaias Afwerki met and held talks with UN Special Envoy to Horn Africa. Training on bee farming on construction of beehives. Russia bans entry of 30 Japanese citizens in response to sanctions. And Australia and Indonesia agrees to a new security treaty. Proceeding with our reports, President Isaias Afwerki met in the late afternoon hours today at Denden Guest House with Mr. Guang Kong, the new special envoy to Horn of Africa. In an extensive discussion on focus of the developments in the Horn of Africa, President Isaias noted that the UN on role and track record in the resolution of conflicts in the region has not been effective and will require a new approach. In his respect, President Isaias underlined that the mere deployment of peacekeeping force without rigorous accountability, modality and hostile underlining frameworks could not indeed bear the desired results. The blame cannot be attributed to the UN, as the problem essentially stems from the prevailing flawed international order, President Isaias stressed. President Isaias also referred to the shortcomings of the regional organizations whose efficiency has been compromised despite the lofty objective enshrined in their mandates due to unwarranted external interventions. In most cases, the regional organizations have become vehicle for the external agendas. On the situation in Sudan, President Isaias emphasized the historical ties and partnership that bind together the two countries. In this spirit, Eritrea has submitted in 2022 a concept paper on the establishment of popular governance structure based on citizenship and its sincere efforts for the modest contribution for the restoration of peace and stability in Sudan. But the initiative could not make such headway due to external interventions which have only intensified the conflict. In a brief statement to the Eritrean news agency, the UN Special Envoy stated that his visit to Eritrea is part of the parcel of his engagement in the region. Mr. Guang Kong further expressed his satisfaction in the fruitful discussion that he held with President Isaias Afwerki, paid tribute to the Eritrea's contribution in the resolution of the conflict in the region, and affirmed that his full readiness to work in Eritrea for the promotion of the regional peace and stability. The meeting was attended by Mr. Osman Saleh, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Ms. Nahla Valji, UN Resident Coordinator in Eritrea. Mr. Guang Kong appointed as a UN Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa in 2025. The Ministry of Agriculture branch in Ibn Haili subzone has provided training on bee farming and the construction of beehives to 75 farmers from the villages of Adiagwa, Makhrem and Igrimakhel. Mr. Emmanuel Gabrabrahan, coordinator of the program, said that farmers have already started constructing beehives and engaging in bee farming activities. Mr. Haptom Devasai, bee farming expert, stated that 70% of the participants in 3 months theoretical and practical training were women and expressed readiness to support them in their farming activities. The participants of the training commended the program and expressed their readiness to apply the knowledge they gained in their daily bee farming activities, thereby supplying the market with their products at a fair price. In a related news, the Education Office in Hal Subzone and Sabah region provided capacity building training to 69 newly assigned teachers, including 40 female teachers. The training covered lesson planning, peer education modalities, time management, and identifying students' challenges, among others. Mr. Yasin Abdurrahman, head of the administration and finance at the Education Office in the subzone, said that the objective of the training was to enable the newly assigned teachers to upgrade their teaching skills and properly manage their classes. Sports competitions of the Northwest Border Patrol Command of the Eritrean Defense Forces enthusiastically commenced on 10 November in the Sani subzone. The opening ceremony was attended by Colonel Jonas Betsu Amlach, commander of the Northwestern Patrol Command, and Mr. Sium Gabriesus, administrator of Tesane subzone, as well as numerous sports fans. Mr. Takhla Walda Mikhail, head of the promotion and information at the command, said that the objective of the sports competition is to enhance unity, teamwork, and supportmanship among the unities in the command, as well as form a team that represent the command in sports competitions at a level of the Ministry of Defense. The competitions, which will run for a month, includes 11 teams participating in 5 sports: football, volleyball, athletics, target shooting, and chess. Residents of Haga subzone reported that as a result of the sustainable follow-up in indigenous trees in the area are in a good condition. The residents indicated that a variety of indigenous trees in the village of Farabla, Abangulet, Haraznai, Glass, Tilu, and Dobat attest at the initiative they have undertaken to preserve natural resources. They also noted that continuous follow-up by forestry and livestock authorities have made a significant contribution to controlling the prevalence of deforestation activities. The residents further stated that due to the growing public awareness of the importance of the natural resources preservation, the amount of wildfire in the areas has been increased from time to time. The viewers will be back with the international news shortly. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. The Russian foreign minister announced on Tuesday night an identified ban on entry of the country's 30 Japanese citizens in response to Japan's continued sanction against Russia. According to a statement published on the ministry's website, Japanese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Toshiro Kitamura on his list, which is most others coming from Japan media and academic sectors. Following the escalation of the Ukraine crisis in 2022, Japan joined the United States in implementing extensive sanctions against Russia. In response, Russia placed Japan on the list of unfriendly countries. Earlier in September, Japan imposed new sanctions on several Russian enterprises and individuals. Australia and Indonesia will regularly consult on matters of security under the new bilateral defense treaty announced by the nation's respective leaders on Wednesday. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Wednesday hosted Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto to conclude negotiation on the bilateral treaty on a common security. Speaking at a joint press conference in Sydney, Albanese said that the treaty will commit Australia and Indonesia to consult at a leader and ministerial level to matters of security on a regular basis and consider that measures could be taken to individually or jointly respond to threats, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation reported. Prabowo said that the new security deal reaffirms the enhancement of the relationship between the two countries. In a statement released later on Wednesday, Australian Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong said that the new treaty is modelled closely on 1995 agreement between the two countries on maintaining security and that it will be significant extension of the existing security and defense cooperation between Australia and Indonesia. The leaders look forward to signing a treaty in New Year, according to the statement. One last report. The Turkish Air Force C-130 military aircraft plane crashed in Georgia on Tuesday, the Turkish Defense Minister has said. The Ministry of Defense later confirmed that all 20 personnel on board, including the crew, were killed. The Georgian Interior Ministry said the aircraft took off from Azerbaijan and was flying back to Turkey when it crashed in Shanghai municipality, around 5 kilometers from the Azerbaijan-Georgian border. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said an operation to recover the wreckage is underway in coordination with the Georgian officials. Dear viewers, we've come to the end of tonight's news. Let's have a quick recap of the headlines. President Isaias Afwerki met and held talks with UN Special Envoy to Horn of Africa. training on bee farming and construction of beehives. Russia bans entry of 30 Japanese citizens in response to the sanction. And Australia and Indonesia agrees to a new security treaty. And that wraps up our stories for tonight. Thanks for watching and have a good night.